So there's some breaking news in the NBA. Jeanie Buss came out and said Russell Westbrook was the best Laker we had last year. Are you kidding me, Jeanie? This is an actual statement that she put out. We're going to bring the statement up and we're going to dissect it and talk about it from a hooper's perspective. What do you think Jeanie is really trying to accomplish? Are they trying to patch something up and really make this work? Or are they just kind of lightly talking around till they trade his out of here? That's what we're going to be discussing next. I am the NBA white guy. I talk all things hoops from a hooper's perspective. And if you like that kind of content and you also want to voice your opinion, this is the channel for you. I bring your comments to life. But the only way, you got to tap that subscribe button and you click the bell so you're notified every time that I do a new video. Alright, so I'm just gonna bring it straight up here because this is crazy. This is actually what Jeanie Buss just said. This is like right hot off the press, and I want to talk with my audience, with you guys, and we're going to have some conversation about it. Jeanie Buss, and I'm gonna read actually what she said, but she talked about Westbrook in a way that I think may cause a little bit of uproar in Laker Nation. Yeah, I remember all the video that circulated when the Lakers brought in Matt Barnes, with his relationship with Kobe over the years and being one of the best defenders on Kobe. Everybody remembers when Matt Barnes took the ball and threw it in Kobe's face and he didn't even flinch. Incredible. And now he becomes teammates with Kobe. We've seen these storylines before. Pat Beverly was brought here to play defense, the guy that knows how to push his teammates, who sets an example with how he approaches his job. The day of the trade, he was already here after work, working out. I got the chance to say hello to him as I was leaving for the day. He just brings that work ethic that we value, that Coach Ham values, and is going to be a leader in the locker room. So it has nothing to do with Russ. And like I said, I think that people, they love to pull up storylines and create something, and that just isn't the case. We're going to get into some serious sticky icky here in a second, because then she goes into quote saying that Russell Westbrook was the best Lakers that they had last season. I don't know how you can believe that when LeBron James should have probably been the MVP, was averaging almost 31 points a game, carrying a team that literally could not shoot the basket. They had players that were shooting 15% from three. You imagine how many assists LeBron would have had with that 30.3 points a game if people actually could shoot? If Westbrook wasn't hitting the top of the backboard, it would have been MVP caliber, no problem. He carried that team to almost the play-in tournament, but couldn't. I do not think that Westbrook was the best player. You comment down below, do you think that Westbrook was the best Laker last year? Or do you think it was LeBron? Or do you think it was nobody? Again, comment down below. This is the most shocking thing that Jeanie Buss said. All I can say is that from my point of view, Westbrook was our best player last year. He played pretty much every single game, showed up, worked hard. You know, I would have loved to have seen what this team would have looked like. I would have loved to have seen what this team would have looked like. If they stayed healthy. It's really tough to win when Anthony Davis isn't on the court. LeBron was hurt a lot of the season, but Russ showed up every game, played very hard every night. And you know, I just really appreciate him for who he is and what he brings to the team. So why is she saying I really wish that I would have seen this? Aren't you going to see it this year if you have no problem with Russell Westbrook and he's staying in the locker room? I think that she probably would have said, you know what, I'm really excited to see what they can do this year. But what they did is bring in the biggest agitator to Russell Westbrook's career in Patrick Beverly. And do I think everything she said at the beginning was true? Yes, you brought in Matt Barnes, but you didn't bring him in. Kobe brought him in. He talks about it in every single interview that Matt Barnes was somebody who Kobe tested and pressed. And again, from a hooper's perspective, I have talked about this in every video. You gotta have those dogs. Kobe wanted Matt Barnes because he wasn't afraid of anything. He earned his respect. I think Pat Bev has the respect of LeBron James. They brought in Lance Stevenson to the Lakers and he played alongside LeBron James. You ever remember watching Markieff Morris and Marcus Morris? They used to tackle LeBron. They hated him. They came in and played with him. These players all respect LeBron, and LeBron respects dogs too. So yes, Patrick Beverley is going to bring a toughness that the Lakers are desperately needing. He's going to be a voice in that locker room, I can guarantee it. But are him and Westbrook really going to play together? Now, I really think if they could figure it out and just absolutely get this dog out of Westbrook, that could be a dangerous team. I don't care if he shoots it off the side of the backboard, but if you had two of these very explosive players playing and actually get Russell Westbrook taking that energy and being a defensive just juggernaut, getting into lanes and pressing fast breaks and dunking the ball, yes, it would be good. Is he going to do it? No. Well, at least we haven't seen it yet. But to call him the best Laker last year, what are you really talking about? Is it just because he showed up? Then yes, maybe he played 70-something games. But you can't go doing that when you have an Anthony Davis and a LeBron James sitting there and you're like, what did you just say, Jeannie? He's the best Laker? I am wondering how that's going to go in the locker room. Comment down below, what do you think LeBron James and AD saying? Because again, if I'm LeBron James and I'm Anthony Davis and I'm trying to get Westbrook out, and now you're going to say he was the best Laker, you're really causing some turmoil. This is not going to be a healthy organization. You cannot start seasons midway or finish seasons with that kind of animosity in the locker room. Now, thank goodness they have a new coach in Darvin Ham, but if you didn't have a new coach and they still had Vogel and it's a mess. But now you've got your front office and you have your owner of the Lakers, Jeanie Buss, saying that he's the best Laker. What are you doing if you want to be a championship contender? Now, maybe she's just saying that because they have a trade package in mind for Westbrook and they already know he's out the door. They're just waiting for maybe Donovan Mitchell to, that trade to fall. We don't really know, and we're trying to keep up on this. But I'm telling you right now, do not, as a front office, start talking bad about LeBron and AD. And yes, I know she's saying they were hurt a lot, but he was not the best Laker. LeBron was nasty last year and was obviously in all of the MVP talks. Now that brings up my next point, that if she's already talking about, I wish I could have seen what that would have been like, it kind of tells me like, yeah, we do got a movement. So then it boils down to the trades, right? I think right now the best trade that they have available, and one of you commenters actually brought this up, is that we try and keep one of those first round picks. I don't know if it's doable, and I'm also about making sure that LeBron James has a team to contend this year, because if he can just get into the playoffs healthy with Anthony Davis and Pat Bev, I really think they can make noise. We do remember that year that Anthony Davis got hurt, they were toying with the Phoenix Suns. They were making them look like fools. They were doing the salsa dance. They were doing everything. I watched that game, and even though everybody was kind of talking about Phoenix, I was like, dude, Lakers got this. You can just tell as a basketball player when you're into the minds of another team, and the Lakers owned the Suns. Then Anthony Davis gets hurt. The entire thing flips. Next thing you know, the Suns are going to the finals, and, well, they got drubbed. But you can see these kind of things. So if we get these healthy players into the playoffs, they can go in there and win a lot of games. And you got to have, a good 6, 7, 8 man rotation. Right now, they don't have it. So I do think they need to bring in some players. But one of you commenters was talking about, look, if we go till next year, we have over 30 million in cap space. And if we have those two picks, we can really make some noise in the free agency market. Well, there is a big free agency market, so you may not need to trade those picks, and we can bring those players in. But I don't want to wait till next year. LeBron's in year 20. We got to make moves right now. And they have what everybody's expecting, a very healthy Anthony Davis and 100% LeBron James and a Pat Bev already in there. So if you could move off Westbrook, which obviously is way harder said than done, and I'm loving your guys' comments. So I do want your guys' opinions down there because I'm hearing some other great trade options. Then we got to make this move. But the most important thing that the Lakers absolutely must do is figure out that locker room chemistry. And if you make a simple trade and you move off of Westbrook, all of that noise goes away and you're going to bring in fresh players. I have been in college locker rooms where one of the players just did not get along with us, and he ended up getting moved off. He transferred, and we ended up getting new players, and it was just like a breath of fresh air. We all had each other's back, and you just remove that one weak link, and it can really change the trajectory of a season. So trades with the Pacers, getting Heald and Turner, maybe you just get one of them for one of the picks. That could be big. Again, we need probably at least 2 more good role players, because you're going to have Kendrick Nunn, Austin Reeves, Pat Bev, Anthony Davis, LeBron James. I don't care who else is on the team. Nobody's really a good player come playoffs. So having a Heald and having a Turner, there's your 7-man for the playoffs. I love it. The other one is going back to the phones and hitting up Utah and saying we want Bogdanovich, we want either Clarkson or Conley, and I guess we may have to take this Fournier contract, but at least we're going to get some dogs, and we're going to get some good role players, and we're going to get some top shooters. In fact, in the last 5 seasons, both Bogdanovich and Conley are in the top 10 of three-point percentage, so these are knockdown shooters. And I think that's what the Lakers need to surround themselves with, some shooters, some people who move, who cut, open this offense up a little bit so that LeBron can get going downhill. He wants to get back to an assist leader anyways. That's exactly what he wants to do. Hand the torch off to AD, let him be the scorer. LeBron's still going to get his 24 points a game, but now he can get 10, 11 assists because people can actually shoot. We're going to be winning some games, and we're going to make a deep run into the playoffs. Again, I love your guys' comments. It's been one of my favorite things. Comment down below your thoughts on what the Lakers must do and what you think Jeanie Buss meant by this statement. And of course, if you're loving this content by the NBA white guy, then you got to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss a thing. And if you're enjoying it, make sure you hit the like button. Until the next video, my homies, we'll catch you later.